What's up guys, welcome back! Today we're going to check out WitchSpring3 Refine for Nintendo Switch as it hits the Nintendo eShop today. And I gotta tell you that I was first interested in this game as it is often compared to the Atelier series by Gust and KoeiTecmo. And as a big fan of that series, having played through most of them, WitchSpring3 Refine is actually nothing much like it, other than the fact that it is a story-driven RPG featuring resource gathering and crafting through alchemy. Having said that, I do think the game has plenty unique aspects going for it, although it took me about 3 hours before things got really interesting. So without further ado, let's dive in. The plot revolves around Eirudy, a Chazarian deity whom the Pope has proclaimed a witch, living a lonesome existence in the misty forest, who one day has a chance encounter with a young boy named Adrian, who turns out to be the heir to the lordship with all of his consequences. Although this story does touch upon a few serious themes such as witch hunts, civil wars, betrayal and all that, overall it is a somewhat light-hearted setting as can be seen in such instances as trying to strike a conversation with her hard-of-hearing grandmother living in her own cottage in the woods. The game boasts a great deal of activities in varying gameplay settings. There's plenty of exploration to be had in which you're gathering resources both scattered about and collected in the form of loot after defeating enemies or opening up treasure chests, and there is even some agility training by chasing various animals around. Movement is as straightforward as can be, but does feel a bit rough around the edges. The game's world features a relatively small map, yet it does take a good amount of time traveling from one end to another, as fast travel is limited to the teleportation pads, which are far and few in between. But never does this become a hurdle, as the different locales, dungeons and cute settlements, each with unique enemies, merchants and other NPCs, make for a fun travel every time you venture out. Whenever you're not exploring or gathering, chances are you'll find yourself cooking up some new items using your skills as an alchemist. Crafting the various items including tools and magic is a fun activity, nothing too cumbersome, and the available recipes, although few at the start, expanding relatively fast as you progress through the game. After creating some magic spells, you can equip them to put them to good use in your battles. Combining magic circles is where you make or break your magical attacks by combining main magic with supportive magic, the latter of which can have a huge impact on your chances of survival out there, and as such, this system is quite unique to this game. But the fun doesn't end there, as WitchSpring3 Refine features plenty of unique gameplay elements, like the training sessions you can go through once you've accumulated enough available training days. You can either train your physical or mental skills, or a combination of both, a process which thankfully can be sped up as you increase your stats as well as gain new skills and recipes in the process. These new recipes vary from stronger magic attacks to regular tools and potions or accessories, which you can equip, though regrettably only one at a time. Though, to be frank, the best accessories are acquired through story progression. Speaking of which, WitchSpring3 Refine is a very much story-driven adventure, something which made the first 3 hours a bit dull, featuring the tutorials, and you can't proceed to other areas before you have made some progression in the story. But once you're up and running, the game evolves into a nicely paced, always something to do affair. In that regard, the Witch Journal definitely helps to keep track of your story progression and both active and completed quests. These quests get unlocked as you progress through the chapters, as well as through interactions with other characters dotted across the map. It should be mentioned though, that the game is relatively heavy on the text, which is fine, but unfortunately there are more than a few typos out there, something which should be fixed with a day 1 patch for sure. When I said that this game features plenty of unique elements, I was of course also talking about the battle system, a pivotal aspect in any RPG. WitchSpring3 Refine boasts an intricate battle system including status effects and makes use of a wide array of powerful magic attacks, optional magic boosters for your physical attacks, and the regular melee attacks through your upgradable staff or sword. There are some really nice enemies like sea serpents, dragons, stone golems, ice giants, tree guardians, masked ninjas and scorpions to name a few. One of the most unique elements though is the option of summoning up to 3 dolls, each with various effects. These dolls live in the basement of your small abode, which you need to bring to life through vitality points captured in your upgradable soul stone, which you gain by defeating enemies. The stronger the doll, the more vitality it will need to come to life, and once they're up and running, you can keep leveling them up by injecting more vitality points. When you're locked in battle, you can summon one of these dolls once per turn and then throw in an attack or choose to defend. Defending too is quite unlike any other game out there, in that you not only block incoming attacks, but at the same time heal yourself and rejuvenate your magic points. If you so choose your dolls rightly, you can even let them do the fighting for you whilst you refill your HP and MP, all the while collecting the loot after landing the victorious blow. Oh, and some of your dolls can also be actively used whilst exploring by mounting them, providing a nice range of advantages both on and off the battlefield. A nice little touch is that the game has an achievement system, most of which I have been able to unlock already as I'm looking forward to completing the list. And last but not least, although the overall artwork of the game is nothing to write home about, to be honest, the character portraits as seen during the conversations and the various artworks you unlock as the story progresses are genuinely beautifully made. But what do you guys think? Is this something you're looking forward to? Have you played any of the previous games in this series? Be sure to drop a comment in this section down below and hit that like button if you enjoyed this review. Share your thoughts and I will see you next time.
Yonki.